last night we traveled back from this epic Alaskan adventure back to Colorado, and on the flight, me and my wife and my kids, we were all piled in there in one row, just like kids crawling all over us for this 5-hour flight. And I ended up watching Ted Lasso season 1, the entire season, on this 5-hour flight. I got the whole thing in. And go watch that, by the way, if you're not doing Ted Lasso things, or if you've already seen it. It's a good one to go rewatch. And there's this pivotal moment in the season where he benches this superstar who's very much into himself. The superstar scores 2 goals in the game, and he's literally like pointing at the name on the back of his jersey going, me, like saying how awesome he is. And they're tied in this game that they need to, like, they haven't had a win yet. And so their best player, but also their most selfish player, is performing at his best, but also like at his most egoic. And Ted Lasso benches him. And then at halftime, he's nowhere to be found. So he's gone. And he comes back into the locker room and he gives this speech where he talks about, I'm gonna cry. He talks about the moment when he was a kid, when he was at school and he was a boy, and then he realized that he noticed his teacher in a way that she was attractive to him, and he noticed her as a female, not just as a teacher, but as a woman. And he had this moment that we've all had of childhood and becoming like a young adult, and it happened in school. And he just recounted this time to his team as he's like looking for a moment of inspiration and encouragement in a time where a lot of them are like, we're at a crossroads. We don't know where we're going to go from here. We don't know who we are right now. And what he said is life gives you these opportunities to embrace change. And he said that's when we're at our best, is when we embrace change. That change is this thing that's constantly happening. And it's one of those moments where, all of a sudden he was feeling excited to go to that class, and he was noticing a change in himself, and he knew that it was positive. And even though he was maybe a little bit alien to himself, like from the day before, of who he was prior to that, now he was stepping into this new identity. And he was challenging his team to do the same, to look to it with the same type of moment of, look, we're in a new situation here, and you can embrace this. And there's more than 2 ways, to go with change. And it's not just like let go or be dragged. It's like that you could actually choose to embrace this. And I'm saying all this, and I'm emotional because we're having dinner tonight, and we're like interviewing my daughter because she's about to start school tomorrow. And she's going to this badass school. She's never really gone to school yet. She's 4. And she went to like a daycare for a few months just because her best friend was going there. And then while we were in Alaska, we watched that best friend who moved to Alaska start her first day of school. We like dropped her off and then went to the airport. And so we're in like this, she's starting school tomorrow. And I've had this like big emotion about like embracing change, My little girl is going to school tomorrow, and she's going to have these moments along the way where she's going through her girlhood, and I'm just not going to be around for all of it. There's going to be this whole life that she's going to have. And as much as I wish there was like a camera that could like follow her and like track her experiences, I also believe that, we're here for a purpose, and that all of this is going on record somehow, and that she's going to be going through this experience in a way that she's here to grow and develop, like all of us are. That's what being a human being is all about, mentally, emotionally, physically, socially, spiritually. And she's going to have all these developments now, and these moments of growth, and there's going to be heartache, there's going to be tears, she's probably going to have accidents at school at times, like she's going to have friends, she's going to have bullies. She might be a bully, she might be bullied or whatever, so there's all these things that are going to be happening. And my hope is that the way that I live my life and the way that my wife lives her life and the people in our lives, that we would live in a way that is attractive to her, that change is not just some, dilemma that you have to either let go or be dragged and have like either a bad situation over here or a scary situation over here. That actually, if you wholeheartedly go into it saying, change is the nature of this place, and that the container holding us is good, it is loving, it will hold, that in the midst of a life that is uncertain, that you can lean into the uncertainty and the center will hold. The goodness will hold. The truth is with you now. The love that you need in the moment, it's right here already. It's inviting you into it. And when you embrace change, everything that you ever wanted follows after that, when you embrace it and reach out to it. And so on the eve of my daughter's first day of school, and also being an entrepreneur and being a person in recovery and a person who is actively in my life, in my health, in my relationship, in seeing how I interact with, her mom, my wife, my friendships, my finances, our business, I hope that I'm showing up in a way that not just to tell her what's happening, not just to tell her that to embrace the change, but to actually show her. And, so I'm leading hopefully by doing it. And here's a call for you, just an encouragement to say, if you're out there and you are in any of those moments of uncertainty, whether you have a business or you're just a person living life on this planet in 2025, like there's enough uncertainty out there, that you lean into it and you embrace the change. And just like these new tingles and sensations that show up as we are growing and becoming, that never stops. It never has to stop. Even if you're not growing hair in certain places anymore, or growing hair in extra places that you weren't before, all these other places I won't show. Even when those things are happening, that there is still, the nature of this place is change, the nature of this place is good, and the center will hold. And I'm here to encourage you to embrace it, whatever change is coming your way, that maybe there's an opportunity there. And maybe if you jump wholeheartedly into it, that opportunity will actually be the way. I love you. God bless you. Good evening.